now tuned in to the Cold Hard Truth, Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
The same, but
and then Tuesday, Christmas Day holiday after.
I don't know. Maybe
Boxing
Sandy.
Day.
Maybe Sandy can clear that up for us.
It's a conundrum. I don't know. Time is 7:29 right now, and it's time to spill the tea.
Big news. I have some important news for you. Interesting news.
It's Blake and Aaron's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
Cayman's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are you? Happy New Year.
Fantastic. Happy New Year, and a big shout out to all the kids on their way back to school, especially little Miss Gianna.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
nice.
littlest is going back to school today too.
Yay.
So
Yes, yay.
yes, CIS isn't back until next week. And I know they were asking if the parents wanted to have their kids participate in an LFT program before they went back. Anybody else doing that?
I'll do one for
LFT
Ethan.
program.
Yeah, LFT, like
Lateral flow.
Lateral flow
Yeah, but
test.
what's the program? Everybody's lateral
Like
flow testing.
At school testing.
No, I mean
them.
before sending the kids back is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I thought that was norm. We did that this morning.
Oh, did you? Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I am definitely for
I
Ethan.
didn't realize that was extra special.
Extra special.
I mean, I think it makes sense, to do so. So why not?
Hey, we were just talking about the holiday coming up this year in 2022. Christmas now 355 days away. It falls on a Sunday this year. So how will that work with bank holidays?
I think it'll be the same as it was this year.
Yes.
So you get the Monday and the Tuesday.
I'm telling you, you're not going to get the Wednesday. You're not getting an extra day.
No, I know, but Boxing Day then will be on Monday. So how will that?
Yeah. So then the Tuesday will be kind of like the makeup for the
makeup
Sunday.
Boxing Day.
No, the makeup for the Christmas Day.
Oh, so the Tuesday after Boxing Day will be the Christmas Day holiday.
Yeah, you want it in order, which means then Wednesday.
I do want it in order.
Which means it pushes it to Wednesday. I like it. We can do whatever we want. Yeah.
Aiming for.
Yeah.
See? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think you're only going to get the 2 days.
We'll see. We shall see. We shall see. So we've been off a while. You've been on. How's everything going? We have anything to talk about newsworthy?
Oh my gosh, there's always news popping off. Lots of stuff happening. So I just have to remind myself of what day of the week we're actually in.
Today is
Tuesday. So yesterday, in breaking news, we made an announcement that a DJ was actually arrested. And sorry?
No, I said wasn't me. I was joking.
Wasn't Aaron.
Wasn't Aaron, not a on-air personality, actual DJ. And he was arrested for suspicion of attempted murder after he stabbed another DJ at a venue.
So are these
what?
Are these club DJs or anybody we know?
I don't think you know him. His name is DJ Mario Guns. His real name is Ku Lichmore, I think is how he pronounces it. 30-year-old Jamaican national. And he stabbed a 29-year-old part-time DJ on Sunday night right by the DJ booth. So
over what?
This is the craziest thing. Supposedly they were arguing over the music selection, like you don't come and touch my gear kind of thing.
Listen, bro, you're not playing the hits.
Like, so he went up and tried to.
It's one of those stories where you're not really supposed to laugh, but then when you hear the reason why, it's like, how stupid can you get? Like, you take your music that seriously. Like, don't touch my DJ equipment. It's like, come on.
Oh, that's sad, man.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, ridiculous is the right word. On Sunday, there was a very serious head-on collision, actually, that the police are continuing to investigate. One person has been left critical. And
where's that at?
2 other people. You know what is really interesting? We actually had someone who witnessed the accident happen. And they said, based on what they saw, that they felt like the person maybe fell asleep at the wheel or something, because the car just veered over to the side of the road where the truck was driving, and obviously they collided. So I don't know if they had a medical issue or something else, why they kind of lost temporary control of the vehicle.
That's sad. Where was this at?
In Savannah, close to countryside.
Oh.
Yeah, I was noticing that the RCIPS said that they're ending, their Operation Quaker is all done. Why are they not doing this all year long?
Why is it an operation? Isn't it just your job?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I like the signs that are telling people to slow down, because that's really working.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for the RCIPS, unfortunately.
I mean, they if you look at the list of tickets, the number of tickets they handed out, and the DUI arrests and everything, it's like, they did a good job. That should just continue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't call it Operation. We don't name our show different every week. It's just like an Aaron, because we do it year round.
Yeah.
Kiss morning show.
Yeah.
I mean,
besides
during the holiday season, obviously it makes sense to remind people that they're out there in full force, because more people are, I guess, inclined to drink and drive during the holiday season, during the festive season. Yes, I'm sure the police are still out there making lots of
it's every weekend,
all the time, every day. They're always around.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I was actually in Blackbeard's in the last day or two, and there was somebody in there that was joking. I know he's joking, but he's like, he was talking to somebody else in there. I overheard the conversation about drinking and driving, and he said, it's only a crime if you get caught.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yeah, you know.
Well,
It's unfortunate because some people really
follow that guy.
wow.
Yeah.
Put a tracker on him.
No, it's a crime.
Yeah.
So there's another breaking situation.
Or unsafe. Yeah, go ahead.
With a stalker who, basically attacked two women yesterday morning, 26-year-old. And the police are asking anyone who might have been in the vicinity of like central Georgetown, between South Sound Road and Elgin Avenue. Between 6 and 6:30, he attacked two separate women.
What?
One, he literally dragged into the bushes and attempted to assault. And she managed to get away with some minor injuries. And so the police do have him in custody, but they're also looking for anyone else who may have witnessed those attacks or any other attacks to please come forward.
Wow.
Apparently he was out and about on a bicycle and stalking women.
So what are you doing? Is this your New Year's resolution? Like, hey, you know what? In 2022, that's when I'm going to get my stalk on.
No, I don't know. It's just creepy. People are creepy.
It's ridiculous.
So yeah, the police are on the lookout for any either additional victims or just eyewitnesses that can help them with the matter.
Yeah. Well, glad everybody's, glad the ladies are okay.
Help them out if you can,
So
It's a kind of person you definitely want off the streets.
Yeah.
We
need to be able to carry pepper spray.
Yeah, we keep asking for something, but yeah. And in regional news, Haiti's prime minister survived an attempted assassination on Sunday.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Cannot catch a break.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy, but yes.
By the way, circling back to our original conversation about public holidays, I have the holidays for 2022.
I was going to say we could probably just look it up.
Guess who is right?
I'm going to go with Aaron, actually.
Aaron is. So yeah, Monday the 26th is Christmas Day observed, and then Tuesday the 27th is Boxing Day observed.
Then get back to work on Wednesday.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
that's as most as you're going to get. I think you were kind of pushing the envelope there.
Yep.
And I have one question. I have one question for you guys. Is your Christmas tree still up?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Ours is down already.
Yours is down already. Well, that's not traditional.
No, I've started taking some stuff down. Mine is just not down purely because I have not had time.
Yeah.
But I will casually this week.
They say you're supposed to take it down on the 12th night. Now, on the 12th night, varies.
Who says this? The song?
The just tradition. If you look it up.
Okay. I don't. Yeah.
So the 12th night, they haven't decided. It's either on the 5th or the 6th. So we will take ours down probably on the 5th.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll take mine down when my kids are out of my house.
Maryland didn't get that 12th night memo. So on the 1st, he was like, "It's all coming down. Clean up the place."
The Grinch shoved it up.
Some people come back to the tree. Like,
some people like it down before the new year, but they say for good luck, you leave it up through the 12th night.
Okay, I think I have heard that.
And the 12th night, I think, begins on 12. The count starting on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
so
I'll take mine down earlier. I put it up early, so I'm banking days from earlier in November that I put it up. I put it up before American Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So yours is down?
No, mine will be down this week once both kids will be at school starting tomorrow.
Yeah, ours comes down tomorrow night. Tomorrow night.
So it is. So it is fine. Tomorrow then.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, so I did it. Okay.
Yeah. So you're right on point, Aaron.
Great. My house is going to look so bare. I don't know about everyone else's, but
it's kind of weird when you move the tree out and you have that spot. You're like, oh, it was. You get used to having that tree there, and then it looks empty.
It's like that book, Squash and a Squeeze.
Yeah. All right, Sandy. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Sounds wonderful. Have a great, fantastic day.
You too. Bye.
All right, folks, we're back to the usual grind with Blake and Aaron. I'm so excited. Today. I got lots of good news for you guys. Good morning, everyone. Okay, we have a lost driver's license. If anybody knows Taryn Scott, Cayman Brack, actually, his driver's license has been found. Taryn Marcus Scott, give us a dingle. Your driver's license has been found, young man. Taryn Marcus Scott, Cayman Brackers, anybody know Taryn Marcus Scott? Let him know. We have his driver's license. All right. Thank you very much. We're so happy that we've been able to reunite a lot of people with a lot of different things. So I'm excited because I'm working on a few things in the background. You guys are going to see our first segment tonight, hopefully, of our new show, which is going to be a daily, as in Monday to Friday, news segment. So this is exciting news. We've got a new host. I'm going to talk a little bit about it because I know you guys are going to be surprised to see who it is. And I'm looking forward to all the comments. Oh my God, she doesn't speak with a Caymanian accent. She's not Caymanian. We're going to talk about all that here in a second. I'm going to preempt you guys so that you're not entirely shocked. And basically, this has forced me to get out of my comfort zone and to learn a new skill set. And to me, that excites me to learn something new. I was like, oh, last night I was like figuring stuff out. I was like, oh my God, I can do this. Yes. You got to keep the brain working. You've always got to be willing to like engage your brain. Like, okay, I need to do this. At CMR, we don't have the budget to like hire all these people to do all this stuff. So a lot of times it's just like, I need to learn to do this myself. And so that process can be very invigorating and educational and just like super exciting. So I absolutely love with a passion. That whole entire process. So I'm going to show you guys some logos because I also want your feedback. So you guys are going to get a little bit of an exclusive today on some logos that we're working on for you. All right. So, here in CMR, we really like to engage our audience. So we have a new show name and everything for that segment. And this was all up to the audience, really. Like they were the one. I sent out the names. I asked for suggestions. I sent out the names. And then they came back and said, yep, we like this. We like that. And we went with it. So today, you guys are going to help me with the logos. And we're going to pick one. We have 3 options. I'm going to show you what all 3 are. And then by unanimous vote, not unanimous, but majority vote, we will decide which one takes the cake. All right. So you guys, this is a participatory platform. You guys know this already. CMR is from the ground up, We were built for the people. Good morning, Irvlyn. And yes, I'm wearing some flashy purple lipstick today. Going all out. So good to see you. Miss Morna, good morning, honey. Get your tea ready. Marshall is here. Good morning, Olivia. Wee. Chantal, we already have 160 people online. Louis, good morning. The beautiful Siobhan. Louis says it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, that's the wind chill. Wait a minute. 20 degrees Fahrenheit, wind chill, 10 degrees Fahrenheit to warm it up. So it's the feel like is 20? No, the feel like is 10, but it's actually 20. Either way, that's cool. He says my CMR mug needs to be refilled, and that it should be. Aliano's already missing my co-host this morning. Yay. So, the routine last night was like, got to get to bed early, Gigi. Got to get back to school in the morning. I don't have my favorite blanket. Where's daddy? Where's this? It was like a million excuses why not to get to bed. And it took a minute, And so this morning it was up and at 'em. When that alarm clock went off, I was like, oh yes, jump up. Because this morning she's back at school. We got a lateral flow test. She's getting a little bit more used to it now. So it still took a couple minutes to like really just like, this isn't the one that goes all the way up your nose. This is the easy one. And then she's like, oh, it tickles. And I'm like, yes, but that's okay. Just let me do it real quick. The sooner I can get it over with, the sooner we can be done. Oh my gosh, I hope I don't have COVID. Every little 5 years old. It's like they're going to have no memories of life before COVID. Can you imagine growing up in a world where at 5 and 3 and 2, your only memory will be life with COVID? That kind of sucks, actually. We remember being so much more free and jumping on a plane and going to Miami. And if you want to go to New York, you didn't have to. You might have had security concerns. If you're born post 9/11, you mightn't have a reference point before that. But certainly, COVID wasn't, oh my God, it's just so crazy. Anyway, what can you do, Aliana? What can you do, Atlas? Yes, you're absolutely right. Back to work. I think Blake was hoping for an additional day, but no. Marshall says that's the yardie for you. No sense whatsoever. Just stupid. Like, really? We'll talk about it. Emma, good morning. Yes, we'll talk about that as well. Nellie wants to know who that stalker is. Well, there's an interesting thing about that situation that I'm also going to tell you about, which is kind of weird, but stay tuned. Diamond Princess, Vernita, Derek, good morning, my friend. Felicia's here. Hero Blair, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're back in Orlando, right? Says, love you all. I can't wait for later. Well, I'm excited. So I'm going to talk about what's going to happen later. So first, let's have a look. Marshall, Kate, Irvin, 52 degrees in Orlando, 26 in North Carolina. Where is Larry from New York? What's the weather like in New York? All right. So before we get to shaking it, shaking our moneymaker on this Tuesday, let us have a look-see. Let's do the easy stuff first. So let us decide on the logos. So here's what's going down. Let me update you guys on what CMR has been up to. All right, so new coronavirus. Oh Lord, another one in France again. What? Good morning, Dale. How are you? All right, so let's talk about business first, and then we're gonna talk about all this other stuff. Oh, Corona. Ugh. Do you think Corona Beer is gonna change their name? Like, I'm thinking maybe they should. It's just crazy. All right, folks. So we are launching. Let me just see here. We are launching CMR TV. Now, CMR TV is going to be, it's not a TV in the normal sense. It's not a TV in the normal sense of the word. Hold on one second. There we go. All right. I'm trying to reunite this person with their driver's license. So it's going to be obviously online, right? We're not going to do a channel 104 on your TV box. Okay. That's not where we're going with this. It's going to be online, but we're going to be focused a lot. Oh my gosh. On video creation and production in 2022. So this was a goal I actually had already, from before, but trust me, it takes a minute, it takes time. And it also takes, trying to find people to help you with these projects, right? So CMR TV, we're going to get, we did a couple of interviews last year that people really enjoyed. Remember the one with Mr. Descartes, Mr. Bernard Watler? We want to do an entire series of interviews with the elderly members of our community, because my God, I cannot tell you how important this is from the perspective of we will be losing a part of our heritage if we do not capture these moments and these stories. And I mean, I could sit down with them all day because it's just so intriguing. There's so much to learn. There's just, I love it. I mean, I just enjoy the process. But of course, COVID, community spread in September. We were supposed to do some more. That kind of slowed us down. But this year, we're going to put it in place come hell or high water. We're going to really push towards that. So we're kind of doing some branding. So there's going to be CMR TV, and then under the umbrella, so there's like CMR TV, and then under the CMR TV umbrella, there's going to be a couple of different shows. So for example, one of the really, really exciting projects, we're going to partner with DART at the DART group, the DART organization. You guys know that they have a nursery. You may not know this, but they do have a nursery. And the nursery supplies a lot of the plants and stuff that you see on their grounds. And have you been paying attention to this program, you'll know that last year I talked about this book that they did. It is called, I have it right here in my library somewhere. It's called Focus on Flora. And so this is a fantastic book about why they use a lot of the native plants at the DART properties. And what some of these things are and why you want to use them, and just so many exciting things about these individual plants. And there's a lot in here, like the money tree that you can learn about. There is the sausage tree, which I didn't even know that's what it's called. The Jamaican rain tree, the kapuk, I think that's how you pronounce it, tree. So there's lots of sage and pepper, cinnamon, and all sorts of stuff. Periwinkle, silver thatch, of course. The Ritz has redone their hotel in a big way, and all of their decor pretty much is centered around the silver thatch. And they brought in different elements from the carpet to the wallpapering to all sorts of stuff. A lot of it is, focused on themes, decorative themes related to the silver thatch. So this is an awesome book. And so we're going to do a video series kind of based on this book. And I'm excited. So there's just a lot of projects that, we've been meaning to launch. And you know what? There's no time. This is my little book area. There's no time like the present. 2022 is here, and we're going to do it. We're going to listen. We've had some of these on the back burner for a minute. We're going to take them off the back burner, put them on the front burner, and turn the heat up and just get it done. This is life, right? You got projects, you got vision. There's a way to deliver it, and there's a way to do it. And we don't believe in sitting down on our behinds all day and just yappity yap. Talking is part of what we do here, but it ain't all that we do. So I'm excited. So we're going to pick the logo potentially today for CMR TV. I'm going to show you guys the logos. We have 3 samples to choose from. Actually, there is another one. I'm going to show you guys another one as well. And then we will talk about the evening news program. So the evening news program, should I tell you guys what it's going to be called now? I feel like I should just go ahead and do that. Because, yeah, all right. I'm going to bring this other logo in. Because it actually is going to launch today. Now, listen, this isn't going to be a perfect launch. This is not going to be a perfect, everything is professionally done. It's perfect, whatever. Because like I said, a lot of the background elements I'm having to learn and do myself. Yeah. I am not a graphic designer by any stretch of the imagination. I'll see stuff. I'm like, okay, that's for somebody else. That's for some expert to be able to do. However, when you're a small micro business, you're a small team, you can't always afford to hire a graphic design team who can do all these things for you. So yours truly has been playing around with some elements of this, and I'm going to show you guys just a screenshot, not the actual video, of what we are working on for you guys, and then you can get an idea of what your first news segment this evening is going to look like. And then we're going to talk about the power of women, because listen, a lot of women are working behind the scenes to make CMR work, right? So let us first decide on a logo. Yeah. And then I'm going to show you a little preview of what's coming. And then you tune in this evening. So we're going to live stream it. It's pre-recorded, but it'll be loaded up on the live stream platform. And we're thinking 7 o'clock or 7:30 for news. I want y'all to get home, get dinner sorted, and be ready to actually digest what you hear. So let us start at the beginning. Okay, logo number 1. This is the first one, CMR TV. I kind of like the plus sign because it's like TV plus, so much more. Obviously, this is our color scheme. This is the first one. So think about this. All right. Everybody saw that one? Okay. Good. Nice. So that's number 1. Number 2 is this one. I personally feel lukewarm about this one. I'm not really feeling this one personally, but number 3 has a little TV and the globe. Okay. And then that's number 3. And this is number 4. Number 4 seems a little bit bolder to me. I like bold. All right, so let's review again. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's see your votes. All right, so Carol, good morning. Thank you for that. Good morning, Miss Brenda. Is it 77 degrees outside? Whoa. I don't even know. Good morning. Damaris wants some of that sunshine that we have outside. Yes, the sun is definitely peeking out. 26 in New York. Oh my gosh. Evelyn. Sure, Miles. Good morning. Good morning, James. All right, so we got a number 1. 1, 3. So we need somebody to keep track of all of these. Hold on a second now. So let me start writing them down, Shell. I got my little notepad. So logo number 4 has your avatar in the background. Oh yeah, that's just because that one's like completely transparent. So obviously the avatar wouldn't be there. I wonder how I can show you that one without, I think I'd have to remove myself. All right, so we've got number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So a few of you like number 1. I'm surprised, really. All right, but voting is early yet, so we got a vote for number 1. We got 2 votes for number 1. Keisha says number 3. Evelyn, you voted already. Brenda says number 3. Really? Keisha says number 3. Moya says 4. Keisha, you voted twice. So just send me 1 response here. Cheryl likes 1. Keisha, I think you said that 3 times. Chantal likes 4. I kind of am partial to 4 myself. Rose and Olivia like 1. Elena likes 4. Louis, pick 1. 4 or 1. You got to give me which one you want. Number 1 says Janet. Dale likes 4. Sonia likes 3. Ooh, this is kind of a close. Shelly says 1. Happy New Year, Robert. John likes 1. Miss Joy likes 4. Karen, we soon get you. 1, 6 equals 1, says John. What kind of math is that? Maria likes 3. Well, nobody likes 2. That's for sure. Maria Omaria, good morning. She says number 1 is epic. Really? I need to look at number 1 again. Felicia likes number 1. Risa likes 1. Wow, looks like number 1 might be the runaway winner. Louis likes 4. All right, so let's go through them again. Another vote for number 4. Okay, so number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And number 4 wouldn't have me in the background, just FYI. I'm surprised more people don't like number 4, actually. I mean, number 4 is getting some votes, but number 1 so far seems to be outpacing. Let me see if I can remove myself. Hold on. So that's number 4 without me in the background. So, all right, let's keep taking your votes. I'm going to put down a vote for myself for number 4 because I actually prefer number 4. I think it just seems clean, and I don't know. I would probably say 4 then 1. Although I like having the TV kind of in it, although it's not like traditional TV, but it's still, you know. All right, let's see who else is voting. Where did I leave off, by the way? I think I left off with Yvette. Yes. 6 people are saying number 1. Oh, John, sorry. I have more than 6 votes for number 1. So Leroy says 1. Garnett says 1. Yeah, I'm writing ones down. I got way more than 6, though. I got a lot. Levana, are you saying number 1? Oh, John is keeping count for me. Andrea says number 4. Janetta is in favor of number 1. Richard says 1. Moya says, I like 4 with the avatar. Can you deliver all 4? Well, you need to pick one logo. Some WhatsApp votes are coming in as well. I got you. Liliana is 4. Lavanya says 1 pops more. Miss Darlene is 4. Oh, it's going to be close between 1 and 4. Tammy says 4. Miss Brenda, good morning. She says, I like if you kill some of the blue in 3, it would be perfect. Well, nobody seems to really like number 3. Number 2 has no votes, and number 3 has like 5. All right. Karen, number 4. Natasha, 4. Hello, Missy. Good morning. Robert likes number 2. Child, you're the only one feeling number 2. So we'll put you down for the Lone Ranger for number 2. Jared says 1. Atlas, you missed them. All right, we're going to do it again. Lance likes 4. Gigi likes 1. This way all 4 is what I'm asking. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me stitch them together in one thing. Hold on. Let me do a little. Let me see if I can quickly do this together. I'm going to open up my stitching program here. Create a collage. All right, photo stitching. Let me see. Oh, hold on. I think I can do. We're going to do 4 logos. Dun, 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 dun. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me see now. I'm going to do them in order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So this is 1. 2. We'll put 2 up here at the top. 3. Okay, let me export this. 4 is a little bit cut off on this one, but you'll more or less get the idea. All right, give me 1 second here, and I shall pull up all of them to view at one time. That's a good idea. Thank you, Atlas. Thank you, John. Miss Ann says 4. Steve is in favor of 1. John, thank you. CMR and number 4 should be white. Then it would be really nice. CMR. Okay. All right. So let's pull them all in together, and we're gonna have a look here. Let's have a look-see. Okay. So here are the 4 logos together. There we go. So 1 going from the top left across, 2, 3, and 4, the 2 TV ones down at the bottom. So the problem with CMR being white is when you put it on stuff graphically, that's going to disappear because it's like transparent logos. So I don't, and then the TV is white. So I don't know that that would really work from a graphic perspective. Yeah, I think that'd be a little bit problematic, actually. I mean, I guess you could do it like how the top one is kind of white. You know what I like about number 4? I like the boldness of the lettering with number 4. Like the font in number 4 really does it for me, I think. Atlas is finally voting, number 4. All right, so let me do a tally of where we're at, right? Because I think we need to have a runoff at this point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I have about 23 votes for number 1. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Hold on. 19 with Atlas. And then number 1, Melinda. Number 2, Duran. Child, number 2 is not even in the runnings. It's you and Robert for number 2. Not number 4. Okay, and then James says number 4. So it's kind of close-ish between Diamond Princess says 4, between 1 and 4. And then let me check WhatsApp messages to see what people are thinking. All right. So we got another vote for 4 on the WhatsApp. So someone says, love number 3, but can we have the road running through the TV? I love the road and the CMR logo. 3 or 4, but please include the road. Okay, that's interesting. Will logo 4 have your avatar in the background? No. Okay. 4 is too busy, says one person. Make the CMR bolder in number 1, and that would be perfect. Okay. So another vote for number 4. So number 1, but the CMR should be red. The TV should be white and the circles be red, the colors of her flag. Well, you got to keep in mind that what the designers are working with is our existing logo. So our existing CMR logo has no element of red in it. So we're not trying to completely, this is an offshoot of the current CMR brand, which hopefully you guys know what that looks like. So I think when a designer looks at that, and let me just take the logo up to show you guys what the current logo looks like. So this is the original CMR with the little road and everything, right? So those are the core colors, the lighter blue, the darker blue, and the white, actually. 3 core colors. Then we did a little upgrade last year for anniversary. And if you notice, even the Cold Hard Truth maintains the same color scheme. So, when you're doing branding, you kind of don't just completely switch, especially if it's just an offshoot, like it's not completely new. So that would explain why we're not introducing things like red and all these other colors, right? So somebody else says that they love number 1. I like number 1 because of the CMR TV. Paul's session of the logo, not plus, but the Paul. Wait, I'm confused. I like number 1 because of CMR TV. Plus session or okay, you need to rewrite that. I'm confused. Something of the logo, not plus, but the pulse. Okay. All right. Some more. Joy says number 4. I think number 4 and 1 are definitely my reasons. Number 2 is it looks dynamic and fresh, but I would make TV word larger and to the side of it kind of looks like TMZ. CMR with a TV background would be an alternative change. Mr. Hero is going to go with number 4. I don't know who this person is on WhatsApp, but you look like you are here to troll us, so we will just do the honors of blocking you. Make it easy. Block user. All right, goodbye. Get them to tweak number 3. You can lighten the blue. It's more global. Number 1 is the winner for me. It's clean and readable. So let's have a look again. All right, so number 1 and 4 are the clear winners. So let's have a runoff because, to be honest, 4 does have a lot of votes. Okay, so from this moment forward, Ja says, come and see me and I'll show the world that, what on earth? Okay, we're doing a vote right now, Ja. Vote on the logos. Oh, I know. Oh, Robert, I know, child. I wish I had me some TMZ money. They have built an empire like nobody else. All of the proper, prim and proper news. You always hear them say, and according to TMZ, a TMZ exclusive. That's why CMR be like a CMR exclusive. All right, so clearly number 1 and 4 are the 2 forerunners. I've been you guys can kind of see. I've been kind of writing it down. All right, so let's do a runoff between 1 and 4. So someone's asking for clarification. Hold on, Louis. You're going to be the first vote to count for 4. So someone is saying for clarification on, can you remind us of the TV programming? So folks, all we're doing, just to be very clear, is CMR is going to be doing more video production pieces, special interviews, and all sorts of stuff going into 2022. So online, we're going to be producing and pushing those out. Like I said, we're going to do a 5-part series on like floral and fauna over at Cayman Bay Nursery and kids. There's like several different shows we're going to do, but it's 5 shows. We're doing interviews with the elderly. We're going to continue our conversations with, which is essentially what that's going to be. We're going to do daily news, which that's going to have its own kind of sub-branding. It's going to have its own name. So that's what the logo is going to be used for, right? So it's kind of like an expansion of our video content online. We're not going to be in traditional TV, folks. We're not going to go and buy a TV station. That's not what this is. So CMR TV is just an offshoot of the CMR brand. Okay. So now, because it's a little close-ish, I think. Let me count how many I had for 4. Actually, I have 25 for 4, which would put 4 in the lead by a few over number 1. So let us now vote between 1 and 4 only. So let me show you again. So this is what we got. So number one is top for me would be top. So it's the CMR TV Plus, and then the kind of reverse, what looks like a reverse C lines. And then 4 is the one that runs horizontal to that one. Horizontal? No, diagonal. Sorry. Which is the other one with the little red dot. Okay, so those two, that's 1 and 4. So starting with Louis. Louis says 4 is the hit going forward. So now we're voting for 1 and 4 only. So number 1 and number 4. Okay, so Louis votes for number 1. Perla, good morning. Louis votes for number 4. Sorry, I got it right. Oh my God, Perla says number 4 looks like ppm. Oh, child, please. No. Oh, Lord Jesus, no. Woo, we wouldn't want that. No political affiliation. I know Karen is like, girl. All right, so another vote for number 4 and another vote for number 1. Brenda doesn't like 1 or 4. Okay, no problem. Elena, number 4. John, 4. Michael, 1. And Evelyn, 1. Miss Joy, 4. Oh, it's neck and neck. Do I vote again? Yes. So this is a runoff vote. 4. Lavana, 1. Bevron, 1. Chantel, 4. Omeria, 1. So literally, I think it's a tie. Oh my God, it's a tie right now. What's up coming in for number 4? Daisy, number 1. James, number 4. Yikes, this is a close call. 1 all the way, gotcha. So that's a what's up vote. Okay. Another vote from Julie for number 1. All right, very good. Okay, so remember this is the runoff now. So hold on. Now I left off with, I think, oh gosh, where did I leave off on the, did I count James already? Yes, I did James. I think I need to do Miss Janet. Liliana, 4. Anthony says 4 on a black background, maybe. Yeah, no, 4 is they'll send the transparent one. So it's not going to be on a black or white background. All of these will be transparent. So when you see the black or white background, that's just to allow you to see the logo, if that makes any sense. But it will be completely transparent. So whatever you stick it on, that background is really what would show up. So the background isn't really part of it, if that makes any sense. Okay, Louis. Not making any changes. Let's go with what we got. Miss Darlene, 2 is no longer in the running. We're just doing a runoff between 1 and 4. So I want you to choose between 1 and 4 or not vote at all. So Karen says 1. Kiva says 4. Yeah, so the background is, it'll be completely, they'll send like what's called a PNG file. All right, so Magdalene is 4. Melinda is 1. It's neck and neck. Jackie is 4. Okay, I'm telling you guys, this is super close. Robert says in that case, number 4. Yes, I think I should maybe clarify that the background, maybe a lot of people are confused by that. Darlene said 4. All right, folks, it is neck and neck. Damien, 4. Kurt, 4. I think 4 is pulling out. Sheila, 1. Good morning, Alice. We're doing a vote for CMR TV logo. Sharon says 4. And we're choosing between number 1 and 4. They're running diagonal across from each other. Alice is going to go with 4. All right. Susan is going at 4. Number 4 is pulling it out. Okay. Mm-hmm. Jennifer says 1. Anybody else? We got 202 of you on here. Come on now. Launch your vote. Jared says 1. So we're just choosing between 1 and 4 at this point. 1 and 4. So let's do 2 more minutes of voting, and then we're going to call it. I feel like I should have some background music. Dun, 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 dun. Jackie is going to go with 4. Felicia goes with 1. Melanie, thank you, Mel, says 4. I appreciate when people like Mel participate because she's actually in the world of like marketing and PR and that sort of thing, right? Robert also, does marketing and stuff as well. Rhonda is going to go with 4. All right. Vanessa, 1. Mm-hmm. Can I vote again? Well, we're doing a runoff. So if you haven't voted in the runoff between 1 and 4, then you can choose between 1 and 4. But if you already voted, since we've been doing the runoff, then don't vote again. So did you, I can't remember, Karen, if you voted during the runoff. I think Leroy, you did already, by the way. I do kind of remember. Yeah, Leroy, you did at 8:15. So I think you're already in the runoff numbers. So don't double vote. But if you haven't voted for the runoff, then yes, by all means. So 1 is top when you're looking at, I think it's the same when you're looking at it versus when I'm looking at it. So top left for me, which I think is top left for you as well. Yes. And then bottom right. 1, top left, bottom right is 4. And it looks like, so Karen says, I'll vote in the runoff for 4. So it looks like 4 is the winner. Yes. So Missy. Perla says, I wanted to do it again, but 10 times. No. Combine logos. Oh God, Lynn is trying to make our lives complicated. Combine logos, CMR font in 4 and replace CMR font in 1, and everyone's happy. Karen is going to go with 4. Tracy is going with 1. Okay. So it looks like to me 4 is, it's not a landslide, but it is, 4 has definitely managed to pull it out. So I was just recording. This is what I came up with. I think I should be doing, when you track stuff like this, you should do 4 and then 5 so you can easily count it. Clearly my brain does not work in that way because I'm doing like 1 each individual count. But anyway, so some people are saying that 4 reminds them of PPM. Oh God, come on now. Y'all, no. They're saying maybe the voters for 4 are PPM supporters. Y'all must be crazy on another level. All right. Let's leave the poor progressives alone. We'll have enough time to beat up on all politicians into the coming of the new year. Progressives, PAC, independents, they're all getting ready for 2022, just like the rest of us. Okay, so CMR TV now in our WhatsApp news group, which by the way, if you're not part of the WhatsApp news group, link me up for that. They get everything. It's just a way to get everything like central into your WhatsApp inbox, your messaging. So you don't miss a story. You get all the sus. And sometimes you get a little exclusive because sometimes we will send out stuff in the WhatsApp group that we don't necessarily post on the page or it's posted later. So if it's like something preliminary that we hear popping off, like, we're kind of like ambulance chasers sometimes, like, ooh, there's an ambulance heading up to the Eastern Districts. We don't know what's going on yet. We're not going to necessarily post that on the website or Facebook, but we'll let our WhatsApp group know because they actually are really good at then putting feelers out there. Like, okay, this is what's going on. That's what's going on and so on. Mr. Blair said definitely 4. Drum roll. All right. So we had a number of names to choose from. everything from the Marla Report. So this is going to be the daily news segment in the evenings, the daily T, CMR Daily Brief, CMR News Brief, CMR Daily Report, CMR Hot Topics, CMR Buzz. And it came down to two very clear forerunners. And one was the CMR News Brief, and the second one was CMR Daily Buzz. And can I tell you that probably by a margin of, oh gosh, let me see. I want to say like maybe 3 or 4 to 1. CMR Daily Buzz won by a landslide. So there was no closeness there. So CMR Daily Buzz is the clear winner. And let me see here. So that's what we went with. And there are times when we might be able to play around with, I'm just having to think about this. We'll obviously choose a singular logo, but there are times when we can do different design things with number one, I think, as well. Just my brain thinking here. All right. So the show is going to be called CMR Daily Buzz. And I'm going to now give you a little snippet. So we use the whole tea thing in the morning, which makes sense because most people do have tea in the morning. But yeah, Daily Buzz was a clear winner there. So have a look at what I was up until 1 o'clock in the morning working on. So this is Misha. Let me introduce Misha. She will come on, I think, and say hello to everyone. And she is actually going to be assisting me with the delivery of the news segment. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Misha. Misha is actually from Goa, I think is how it's properly pronounced. So that's a little island off of the coast of India. You know who else is from Goa? Chef Remy, my favorite chef in the whole wide world, is from Goa as well. A lot of people may not have heard of it, but anyway, it's a little island. I don't know how little it is, but it's an island off the coast of India. And I don't think, is it an island? I don't think it's an island. I think it's actually it's on the coast. So hold on a second. I don't actually think it is an island. I keep saying it's an island, but so it's on the coastline. So it's still connected to the mainland, but it's on the coastline. So very interesting historical place in terms of like the Portuguese colonized it for a while. And then, they've got the Indian connection. So they've got lots of beautiful beaches and all that awesome stuff, right? So go check it out. Wiki them and see what they're all about. But she actually has a news background. She used to be a newscaster. And so she approached me, here at CMR and said, hey, I want to do some collaboration, some projects with you. And I thought, oh, I love it. I love when people get it and they want to be involved and they want to participate and the whole 9 yards. And I've known Misha. Interestingly enough, COVID brought Misha and our circles together because I didn't know her before COVID. And I probably, honestly, may never met her if it wasn't for COVID. So I was out covering during COVID some of the food bank stuff, as you guys will remember. And you may remember this interview, but I actually did a interview with Misha and her then boyfriend, now husband. So much has changed in her life because they were at the food bank volunteering. The food bank here at, what's the name of this church? By King's Roundabout, whatever that church is called. The one at the beginning of the bypass. So anyway, and our paths just crossed in a very, very interesting way. Now, let me tell you something, folks. There will be people in this life that your paths will cross and it's whatever. Nothing impactful. You'll have very superficial conversations with people. And then there are people whose lives and whose paths you cross and there is an immediate, like you can just sense it, connection with that individual for whatever reason. And it sometimes, I know from experience that it's not going to be a lifelong connection. It's going to be, you needed to be in that person's life in the moment. Remember that poem, A Season, how does it go again? Oh my God, hold on a second. A Reason, a Season, or a Lifetime. Do you guys know that one? If you're not familiar with this one, I'm going to actually read it to you, because this is really one of those things, right? So we met, and then we met again. So they were constantly, her and Corey were volunteering at the food bank. And then they started to make masks. Remember? They did a whole mask thing. They were making masks, and they were donating masks to people who otherwise would not be able to afford a mask or get a mask or whatever. So we did like a separate interview with them in relation to the mask. Hi, Larry, you're late this morning. What's going on? So Brenda says tea is taken in the afternoon. Buzz is too American. Interesting. Hello from Fort Lauderdale. Listening with my friends. Yes. First Assembly. Thank you. So yes, this Reason, a Season, and Lifetime is really, really impactful, because I really do believe that a lot of people in your life enter your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And that's why sometimes when people leave your life, like, I don't know why people get all upset because a friendship has ended. For me, I don't necessarily get upset because relationships, let's not even use the word friendship, but I don't get upset that relationships have ended. I think what happens is sometimes it's how they end, really, that's the problem. But sometimes, yeah, things have to come to an end. And there've been a lot of times when, you're the person ending it and whatever. So let me read this, and I'm going to tell you what I think about the situation. So listen, this is it in case you've never seen it before, heard of it before. It says that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. When you figure out which one it is, you will know what to do with each person. So when someone is in your life for a reason, it is usually to meet a need that you have expressed. They have come to assist you through a difficulty, to provide you with guidance and support, and to aid you physically, emotionally, or spiritually. And they may seem like a godsend, and they are. They are there for the reason you need them to be. Then, without any wrongdoing on your part or any inconvenient time, this person will say or do something to bring the relationship to an end. Sometimes they die, sometimes they walk away, sometimes they act up and force you to take a stand. What we must realize is that our need has been met, our desire fulfilled, and their work is done. The prayer you sent up has been answered, and now it is time to move on. Then people come into your life for a season. Because your turn has come to share, to grow, or to learn, they bring you an experience of peace or make you laugh, and they may teach you something you have never done. They usually give you an unbelievable amount of joy. Believe it, it is real, but only for a season. Lifetime relationships teach you lifetime lessons, things you must build upon in order to have a solid emotional foundation. Your job is to accept the lesson, love the person, and put what you have learned to use in all other relationships and areas of your life. It is said that love is blind, but friendship is clairvoyant. So a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And sometimes when you're in it, you don't know if this is a reason, a season, or a lifetime. It's later on when you get to reflect on the situation. So when I interviewed Corey and Misha about their mask making, I got to have a deeper conversation with them, and in particular with Misha. And there was an immediate connection at a very different level, right? And we talked about a number of different things, private things, none of your business things. But I will say that I felt like in that moment, she needed a little bit of like support and advice from an older auntie, sister, whatever you want to call it, kind of vibe, right? And so we have remained in each other's lives since then. And there are things that happen. You know, you guys have heard me say more than once on this program, you are right where you're supposed to be. So a lot of times we question, oh my God, I'm going through such a hard time in life. I'm experiencing this or that or whatever. And the point is, you are right where you're supposed to be. Right? There's a lesson there for you. There is something that you need to take away from this, no matter how difficult the situation is. It's just one of those things. So the funny thing about it is we will be having, like, I will send her something and be like, you know, whatever. And she's like, oh my God, you're not going to believe that I was doing this same thing right now. I was thinking the same thing. And so there is a sense of, and I told you guys, I kind of have a little bit of a sixth sense with certain things and people and places. Like, it really just kind of depends, right? It is a very unusual thing. And, you know, I don't necessarily talk about it a whole lot, but there's some people that I do have that connection with. And so Misha actually happens to be one of those people. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a lifelong thing or whatever, or season, whatever, right? But anyway, she approached me and she said, Sandy, you know, I really want to do some content. And then she tells me about her background in media, and she used to host a news show. And I was like, really? That's interesting. She's ready for change. She's gotten married since then. She's got a baby. She's got a 6-month-old baby. That was like a miracle baby. I mean, the whole thing, there's just been so much that's been going on. So Misha has come on board with us. And so yesterday, we've been having meetings. We've been talking for months. And so this is our first, it's very, very rudimentary. We're getting there. But this is our first little segment. So she recorded a segment with the green screen and everything. And this was me kind of playing around with it, adding the background, adding the, you know, we're going to have pictures up at the top, videos, whatever. She's going to be delivering the news. So listen, we're going to start slow. Okay. Don't expect miracles, but we are doing it. CMR Daily Buzz is going to go live, if all goes well, today. And it's just one of those things, folks, where, you know, it's easy to sit back and say, I need to have perfection. And I get this. I mean, it's very, very easy to do, actually. You're waiting for like perfect timing and everything has to be a certain way and whatever. But you know what? There is no perfect time. And sometimes you just have to say, I'm going to launch it. I'm going to do this starting today. And you get started. And then as you get started, you are going to perfect it. And there's no such thing as perfect. So when I say perfected, I mean, you're going to get closer to where you really, really want to be. So Misha is married to Corey. He's a Caymanian. She has her own business. And so we're going to be doing collaborations and projects together. So you're going to see more of her face on CMR. So you guys know that I also work with Renee in Miami. And Renee does a lot of the writing on the website because I actually get really, really busy with certain things. So some stories I do, Renee does a lot of the police blotters, some of the regional content, and some of the special segments, like you'll notice every Sunday. Normally she releases something on like family, kids, that sort of thing. We're going to bring somebody on board who's into food. So we got a foodie already. They're going to be doing guest pieces in food, or cooking shows going to be launching in 2022. Like, we have a really full plate of things that we are going to accomplish and get done. So the first thing that we're going to launch is the CMR Daily Buzz. Probably just 4 or 5 stories to start out. You know, might be 10, 15 minutes. The eventual goal is to get to about probably maybe 15 to 25 minutes of news. You don't need any more than that of news. Trust me. All your recapping of your daily stuff. And it's going to be uploaded between 7 and 7:30 every single evening on CMR, so that you guys can, maybe 6:30. I'm still playing with time a little bit. But yeah, this is what we were doing yesterday. I was playing around with some of the design elements and so forth. So we actually are going to launch it today, and then we're going to be tweaking. We're going to be tweaking all of our graphic elements. So I've got a designer who's going to do some stuff for me. We're just using our existing, so this is our existing sort of background that we have, and we're going to get it done. So, Brenda says that's a new one for 2021. None of your business things. So so I'm excited to have Misha on board. And, you know, we have certain people that we use for the purposes of kind of, yes, I'm going to talk about this, Brenda, because I do have certain people who we use for testing purposes. And this was one of the things that has come up. So everybody's like, well, CMR is all about locals. We're all about Caymanians. Why have you not found, I mean, obviously she is a PR holder and she is married to a Caymanian. Now she's a Caymanian child, but they're like, you know, why couldn't you find a Caymanian voice? And I'm going to tell you why. And Miss Brenda, unfortunately, this really pains me that I haven't been able to find anyone, but I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth. Number one, it really is difficult to find people, Caymanians, who are interested in media. Just go out there and ask them, right? I'm going to give you some examples, some real life examples of this. I think number one, a lot of people don't know what it takes to pull off and to do a show, and the time that it requires to sit down and do take after take until you get it just right. So what Misha's doing, we require someone, she's not employed by CMR. She's actually a business owner that is going to be working in collaboration with CMR. And, you know, that's the arrangement, right? So we don't, number one, have the capacity to hire anyone in a full-time capacity. So there is that. And there might be people who'd be like, oh, you know, I might consider this if it was a full-time job and I could make $5,000, $6,000 a month. That isn't this. That's probably the Compass. You know what I'm saying? They have that kind of budget. They have that kind of advertising revenue coming in. They can afford those types of jobs and to put that out there. But even if you are able to pay people, it is still really hard to find a Caymanian voice to just sit there and read the news. Now, y'all know I love me some Quincy. And I wish that I could have Quincy, and I have approached Quincy. Quincy, I would love to have you. You are mad talented, but I can't, I'm too busy. I'm too focused. I can't engage in anyone who doesn't have their shit together. Okay? Now you can love somebody all you want, but when they don't have it together and you're trying to run a business, you cannot mix a love for someone or love for their talent with your business, because it reflects on your business. During the campaign, you know how many hands I needed? I was like, Quincy, you tell me, are you able to help me even during the campaign? Can you come on board and give me a hand? These are my expectations. Oh no, I've never gotten a response to that message, because I said, the only caveat is you've got to keep clean. So you can't be on drugs. You can't be binging on crack, cocaine, marijuana, nothing. You've got to keep clean, and you have to be able to follow instructions. So this isn't a frolic of your own where you just go out there and do whatever the hell you want because you think it's your platform. That's not how it works. And I was aware that he kind of had his own little platform where he was doing his own little thing and whatever, right? But this is different. I run CMR as a business, regardless of what people may or may not think. On the back end, this is a business. And I deal with people who understand the necessity to deliver and to deliver on time and to be professional. Let me give you an example. I was working with a graphic designer. The man made me pull out all my friggin' hair. Honestly, mad talented. Caymanian, living in Honduras because of some immigration mix-up and whatever. But he had some good talent. He did some of my favorite videos. Remember during the election, there was a couple of like video promos and stuff that we did. You guys were like, oh my God, I love that video. That's the bomb. Da, 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 da. He did a lot of videos that I absolutely, actually, let me find one because he's mad talented. But every single time I gave this guy a job to do, and I'm like, okay, this is my deadline. Jesus, my God. It was painful. And this is where as Caymanians, we need to get it together. Now, I'm chalking this up to the fact that I'm a small business owner, and this is how some of y'all like to treat small business owners. I don't know. He has his own business, and he's like, oh, you know, I'm offering these packages and whatever. Oh, what a good talker. Every single project, the project was late. He disappears. He completely ghosts me. I can't even find him. Once he gets his money, I can't find him. And it's always some excuse. Oh, I'm in the hospital. Oh, I have COVID. Oh, me and the wife are fighting. Oh, now we're back together. I said, dude, let me try to explain this to you, right? You have to understand, whilst I am sympathetic that everyone has issues, you also have to know that at some point, I do not care about your personal life. I'm trying to run a business. He did my Cooking with Sandy logo, and I loved it. But I'm like, I'm running a business here. You do understand what that means, right? I can't be concerned with every time you and the wife make up, break up, have makeup sex. I don't care. I don't care. I need you to deliver and to get it together. It's as simple as that. And if you can't, then, you know, and I cannot tell y'all how many chances I gave this man. Oh my God. Every time. Okay, I promise this time, Sandy, I'm going to do better. Okay. Let me show you all one of the videos he did, because I really liked him. He did our community opener, which we still used. He has, this is my sports one. He's done some good mad stuff. Jared, I see you. I'm coming. But working with him was painful. And time again, like every beginning of the month, oh, I've got this bill that has come up, this emergency situation. Can you send my money right now? So whenever it was time to get paid, here's one of the videos. Mad talent. I'm telling you, all of my election videos. Oh my God. I love his work, but I don't love his work ethic. And there are two very, very different things. And it is frustrating. I think he did my speakeasy video and stuff as well. But it is just really, really frustrating to have to deal with someone at that level. Like, I cannot tell you. When you've got deadlines and you're working on projects and you need stuff delivered. Now, I can work with somebody in India halfway around the world. Not only are they going to be a fraction of the cost, and mind you, I was willing to pay him his rate, right? But I'm not willing to put up with the lateness and the you disappear. And the last time, let me tell you how the relationship ended, right? So about the fifth time, because sometimes I give people a lot of chances and I want to give them enough rope to hang themselves. I'm like, dude, I cannot continue to work with you in this way. Like, I want to be very, very clear. I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to be like rude in any way, but you know, I've got to be able to deliver, and my deliverables and my expectations are this. Didn't meet them the first month. By month number 5, when he's still not meeting them, I said, listen, friend, this is going to be the last month. Now, I know I said this for 4 months in a row, but seriously, this is it. I'm paying you today because now you claim you got some other emergency bill again, and I'm going to pay you today. But I'm telling you that if you cannot deliver the projects I need this month, I can't continue like this. I love your talent, right? You eventually get it done, but to get there is a lot of stress on me, and I don't need any additional stress. So anyway, we went on and on and on. Oh yeah, I'm getting my life together. I'm gonna come back to Cayman. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm going to New York, and it's always some. I'm like, okay. The last month, all no, and I hear from him. The dude just totally disappeared. Phone number don't work no more. I heard from my other sources. Oh yeah, he went to New York with some big time plan, And, that may not have worked out. I don't know what happened there, whatever. And it's just always a situation. Runs out of money. There's a big 40-something-year-old man still calling mommy. Oh, mommy, I'm so stressed out and I need some money and this and that. This is where as parents, I think that we do our children a disservice. You need to start kicking them in the bum a little bit and be like, you need some money. You should be delivering and working for people. Here's another one that he did for me that you guys will really remember from the election. Remember the Cayman Decides website? You guys might remember this one. Yeah. So it was always something, child. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, I'm seriously, I am finito. Done. But he's the one who actually ended up ending the relationship because he's supposed to deliver some project and all. Now I can't even remember what it was because he just disappeared. I can find a guy in India who is hungry to work for a fraction of the price. Right? The language barrier with them can be tricky, but some of them, the English, not too bad. They're going to deliver sometimes even early. Let me give you an example. These logos that I showed you this morning, I had a guy do those for me, right? His delivery deadline is actually tomorrow. I got those in the wee hours of the morning this morning. You know why? Because I said to him, if I like these logos, I got something else for you to do. Caymanians, please, I'm begging you. The world is going to leave us behind. So would I love to have a Caymanian reading my news? Absolutely. Who? Somebody said, what about Cece? Well, congratulations to Cece. She has got her government job. That's all Cece wanted was a government job that pays her insurance because Cece's got 4 kids. So that's a consideration for her as a mother. You get that insurance and pension that ain't coming out of your paycheck. That's a big deal. So you get to take home every single bit that you earn. Even with Cece, I've said, Cece, I got a little project. Help me out with my CMR calendar. Oh, that looks a little hard and complicated. I had to hire a cousin in Jamaica to do the CMR calendar uploads. Y'all don't understand the struggles. Okay. And you know what this reminded me of? The young man, John Flemings, right? When he started his Real Cayman News, he's only 16, 17 years old, young kid. He was out there hustling. He was home because of the pandemic, hustling during the election. And I'm sure John can tell you this is not as easy as it looks, people. It looks easy. And you think, oh, there must be tons of young people out there. DART put on a media camp, right? And the kids had to do like a little final project and all this kind of stuff. When I looked around the room, and I saw the faces of these Caymanian children. You know what I saw? Mostly private school kids, mostly Caucasian kids, very few women looking like me. And that was it was kind of sad. But whoever has the desire and the willpower, you can learn anything. So when I tell you that I learned how to do this in half an hour, I ain't lying to you. I'm no professional, but you can learn how to do things, but it takes time and it takes a desire and it takes being up every single night for me till 1 o'clock in the morning. That's the sacrifice that I'm making right now. At some point, I'm hopeful that I get to the point where that level of sacrifice isn't required to run CMR, that, I start to make money and I can pull in staff and whatever. But it is what it is. The lady who writes for me, Renee, in Miami, she also has a 3-month-old child. But guess what? Every day, Renee not looking no excuses. There's some days when she's pregnant, having the baby, she's like, Sandy, she tell me, I got to go out on the road for a little bit. I got to go to the doctor. Remember, she had preeclampsia. She took some time off after she had the baby and she had to do her thing, but she's still delivering 2 stories a day. She's still getting stuff done. Because she knows she's going to be out. She notifies me. And this is a part-time job for her. She's not making thousands of dollars a month. This is some subcontractual situation. Caymanians need more of a hustle factor. And I'm saying this as a Caymanian, right? There will be opportunities that can be presented to you. And I'm going to come back to some of your comments. But I can't just come and roll out the red carpet. Misha came to me with ideas. This is what I want to do. And then we sat down and discussed it. And from a business perspective, from a viability perspective, from someone who now has experience in this market, I'm able to talk to her about that and tweak it, whatever. I can't chase people. I can't give anybody ambition. Skill and other things you can learn, you can whatever. But when it comes to ambition, which is the most important thing, that's why when employers talk about attitude, attitude is everything. Perla, I'll have a look. There might be people who can fit the bill. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying to you is either those persons are employed in something else and they're simply not interested. I actually approached a graphic designer. Kevin Watler can tell you this because he's the one who recommended the guy. Mad talented, local guy. And he said, no, I don't want to do it because it's CMR. Okay. So, Brenda, there are Caymanians in particular who do not appreciate what CMR does and what we are and whatever, and they don't want to be part of the platform. That's their choice. I can't force anybody. You know what I'm saying? And you would be surprised at who some of these people are. And I know Kevin was a little bit taken aback by it because, he was like, but dude, this is your business. Who turns away business because you don't like a platform? It's graphic design. It's not like you're in the forefront. Like people are even going to know that you're providing services to her, but this person's like, nope. It is what it is. So unfortunately, I can only tell you that I have approached some Caymanians already, and they're just not interested, or they just don't want to work, or they have personal issues of their own. And, it is what it is. Louise says he's my nephew. Who's your nephew? Sorry, I missed who we're talking about here. Oh, the graphic designer that has not been named. Oh, really? That's your nephew? And the best when it comes to graphic, to be honest, I know what you're saying is true. Oh, man, it's such a shame. The guy has so much talent. Luis, well, you should have probably named him as your nephew, but you know who I'm talking about. It just breaks my heart because I love his work. But Jesus, every month I was like, dude, I cannot take another story like this. I don't care what's going on in your personal life. You have more drama than the housewives of Atlanta. Jared, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How you doing, Miss Sandy?
Look like you got a fresh haircut.
No, I've been protecting it by wrapping it up and stuff. But yes, I do sympathize with you in terms of being a business owner. I too am a business owner, and I have been quickly abreast to the ongoing demands and challenges. Pretty much, sleep. But I just want to congratulate you on your new corporate phase that you're going into, because from a business owner in my capacity to seeing another business owner, it really is encouraging. And when you see a local beat the competition in their own yard, it does send a rippling effect. So people need to be on standby for that, because when as I was listening to your comments that you're saying earlier, when locals, well, I should be specific, when one specific local said, oh, it's because the CMI don't want to design for them, what you're telling the other person who in John Gray is that you got to work for somebody who not in, or who, well, I don't even want to make it into that, but the message that you're sending is that you don't support local. And that is not a good message. Locals have to support locals. And so from a local who is overseas and in Canada, I am supporting you 100%, in what you're doing. And it's very exciting to see your next phase.
I appreciate that. And thank you so much. I always say that people don't understand necessarily what it takes to do what you do and deliver what you do. And so sometimes you, from the outside, you think you have an idea, but it's really It's not as easy as it looks. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
So even in terms of, Misha, for example, we had a meeting, we had several meetings over the weekend. And, she has to be, I've given her some equipment that she can use, but then she has to be innovative and have the ability to go away and to put it together. So in the initial stages, I can help her with scripting some of it, but then she has to have the ability to script her own news stories. So it's not just about having a commanded voice or someone who can read the news. It's about, does that person have the ability to take a story, condense it into several lines, and script it for a TV audience? Because doing video production is different than doing radio production. And that's different than doing, other types of reads and writing a story. So when you write a story for the website, you have the benefit of certain things that you don't have when you're doing video. And, there's a whole different skill set that is really, really required for news writing, for television and radio versus a website. And, it is what it is. I mean, the person has to look good, obviously. So Misha, she knows visually what she needs to do in terms of putting it together. But if I can show you a little bit of, and Misha's probably going to kill me for this, but I'm going to show you a little bit of the behind the scenes of what Misha has had to do in order to get this done. Because again, we don't have the benefit of, like, this is a full studio setup, and this is, we've got somebody working a camera, this is a jack of all trades kind of thing, right? So this requires someone who can literally be a MacGyver when it comes to doing their own news segment. And I don't have the time to hold someone's hand with every element of what they need to do. So I do kind of need people who can hit the ground running.
Jack of all trades type of thing.
Yeah, because even Renee.
Yeah.
Renee has a writing background. So she used to, Renee's originally from Jamaica. She worked for the Bermuda publication. I forget what it's called now, but whatever, the Bermuda Gazette or whatever it's called. So she's worked, and but CMR has a different demographics. So she had experience writing. So when I was introduced to her by another media colleague in the Caribbean, we have to sit down and have a meeting of the minds. And the last thing I have time for is to micromanage anybody, whether it's the graphic designer, a writer, a newscaster. I don't have that time. So let me show you guys something. This is Misha's rudimentary setup. And when you guys see the end result in the video, you're going to be like, damn, how did y'all do that from this? So she got the green screen, which I had. Here's the green screen. Look at, on the, poor Misha, her little basket with her stuff on top. You see that little thing right on top there with the light? That is her homemade teleprompter. So she has set up and jiggy rig, this is what I'm saying, she's like a MacGyver, her own teleprompter. That is the kind of thing that I'm unfortunately looking for, someone who has that initiative, who I can just say, go away and do your recording. I don't care that it's on a basket or whatever that she's doing like this, because the end product, you're still going to see this. So it takes, someone who appreciates how to do this without having to rely on me. And then when I give her feedback, when I say to her, she sends me, she does a take and she sends it to me. And then we review, okay, these are the elements of what needs to be done, right? I don't need someone who is getting offended at Caymanians, because this is business. And sometimes, I don't have time to sugarcoat nothing. I don't need someone who's like, oh, well, Miss Sandy spoke to my daughter a certain way and I don't like it. No. Like, let's get real here, right? She sent me a first take just as a sample. This is the original video. This was actually a video. And then I gave some feedback. Like, okay, Misha, there's a little bit of shadow over here. We got to see lighting. I can give you some more lights. How do we eliminate that shadow? How do we, the voice, the this, the that. Listen, this is like the real deal.
Yes.
These are some of the elements that are involved in what I do. So let me show you her jerry rig teleprompter. And she's gonna get to the point. So this is her teleprompter on top of the OxyClean bin.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
the
don't care. This is the point,
it's
right? I don't care that it's on top of whatever. She just did what she had to do to get the job done. And when y'all see the final product, you're gonna think, "Oh, CMR gone big times. They got a big studio. They can rent all this space." No.
Yeah, because it simply is innovation, problem solving. You know, what happened? What happened to that Kimanian spirit where we'd go on ships and go all over the seas and them things? It's like, I wouldn't say it's dead, but it seems to be a bit stagnant. You know, because I had a designer, Miss Sandy. Designer got AWOL, meaning I had to get mock-ups for my hoodies and t-shirts, right? I just went online, take screenshot of the different color hoodies that I'd want my logo on, put that bad boy on and run that thing up and put it on Instagram and say, yo, if you follow or whatever, you get a free hoodie. I run that, and that's how I build up and it's just to continue to do it. So as a business owner, you are going to experience and you know this as much as how I know this, is that you'll experience a lot of issues. But it's what are you going to do to solve it at the end of the day? Nobody don't want no excuses. People want to know if you can do the job. And you said that at the end of the day, nobody can say, oh, CMR don't report. Because whether they like it or not, CMR going to report it fresh off the press. And you know, so that type of innovation, which other media houses allegedly do not do, that's the reason why they've fallen away or they're experiencing struggles. They're not adapting to the immediate change. People don't read no newspaper. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know, the crazy thing is, because of the technology, Miss Brenda, I see your question. I'm going to come to you in just a second. Because of the technology that is available to us. Listen, 5-10 years ago, what we do here would have been near impossible. Even doing this show with the amount of ease at the cost that we're able to do it is amazing. The technology simply did not exist. So that's why people who had the money, who could start up proper television stations, all this equipment, whatever, you know, they controlled the news market for a really long time. And as the technological advances kept coming and coming and coming, it allowed other people to enter the market. Other people who you're like, whoa, you know, you can almost run a one-person show with a little bit of help doing news. And yes, you can. And there's so many different elements to it. And let me tell you, it's a constant learning, relearning, you know, upscaling where you can, leveling up, as they call it in the video and marketing industry, your skill set. And that has to be required. You have to be full on in learning mode 24/7. But, you know, you're also a jack of all trades. So I always find it interesting, like when people will say, oh yeah, you got a typo in this story. I'm just like, okay, let me fix it. But, you know, we're using Grammarly and other things to hopefully catch a lot of those things. And people used to make fun of us like, oh, Sandy can't write, and I'm like, child, please, I could write you into the ground if I wanted to. Because I actually have a writing degree. I have a degree in professional technical writing. My entire law school, I did so well in law school because I could actually write. So I didn't even study as hard as I should have or could have, because I relied on the fact that, you know what, I'm a strong writer. So on the writing side, I know I can pull it out. I just need to make sure I get the cases in my head and understand the concepts and whatever. But it wasn't even about that. There's so many different elements to putting up a story. I'm not writing a thesis here. I'm not writing for, you know, Harvard graduates. If I wanted to write at that level, I could crank that out. But that's not what this is. This is writing so that even a 16-year-old can pick it up, or a 12-year-old, and kind of understand what's going on. And that's one of the reasons why, particularly on Instagram, we have outpaced everyone with 21,000 followers on Instagram. And when I hear 10-year-old, 9-year-old kids like, oh my God, I love CMR. And I'm like, you read CMR? It's because we're writing so that everybody can kind of understand what's going on. It is at a very simple level. So there's a whole business plan that has been deployed that, quite honestly, a lot of people don't get. So anyone can do it, but most people will never do it because of all of the things that it takes, all of the components that you have to put and have floating in the air simultaneously to get it done. Now, I'm a believer in people's ability, folks, to get things done. As you guys know, in my former life, not that long ago, I actually did a lot of training. So I do professional development training. I actually started my PhD thinking that that's what I wanted to do for sort of my professional career after I said, forget law, right? So let me give y'all a little bit of advice. 2022 is here and we're all thinking about goal setting and everybody's got a goal. Oh, I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to do this. I want to do that. Everybody's got something in their life that they want to improve upon. Let me recommend to you all that you have to do so with a basic formula, right? I'm going to interject some of these elements throughout the entire year, but let's start with the SMART goal methodology. So let me just talk about this for a little bit. And one of the other things that I like to do is I believe in educating people, sharing information, I think should be a two-way street. But you have to do so in manageable bits, because I know most people check out after a couple minutes like, oh, child, you lost me already, honey. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So when it comes to achieving your goals, there is something called the SMART technique. And it's really easy for people to tell you, oh, you can do anything. The sky is the limit. Like I love those sayings because, they're motivational. They help us, I suppose, get to from point A to point B, dream big, all this kind of stuff. Sorry. And that's fantastic. But if people are not giving you the tools with which to actually get it done, then you are dreaming big, folks, in a vacuum. It's not very likely, and there's different ways. We're going to talk about these and what these are. But there are different ways in which you can achieve your goals. But one thing we know, folks, that when it comes to goal setting, the SMART technique works. So let us break it down. I'm going to tell you all about the SMART technique, right? And why you should utilize each and every one of these. Okay, so let's start with the S. Jared, I see you messaging me. Do I need to read that right away? Hold on.
No, you don't. No.
Okay. All right. So here we go, folks. The first thing in the S of being smart. So to achieve your goals, you gotta be smart. That's what the SMART technique is all about, right? So to achieve your goals, if you are smart, folks, yes. The first part of being smart is the S. The S stands for being specific. Let me explain to you how that works, okay? Say, for example, I say to you, ooh, I want a degree. Okay, that sounds pretty good, Jared, right? Yes, I want to go to university, I want a degree. Is that a specific or a significant way of formulating your goal? Short answer is no.
No.
Listen to the difference of this. Oh, I want to go to school. I want a degree. Versus, I would like to go to USF, University of South Florida, starting in the fall of 2023, so that I can major in political science. Isn't that a very different goal than I just want a degree? Yeah? And do you see, Jared, I'm going to use you, you're a young person. Do you see why being specific helps you to focus on exactly where you're going?
Yes, 100%.
It's like getting in your car. Oh, I want to go for a drive. Okay. Where are you going? If you know where you're going very specifically, you can set your roadmap on how you're going to get there. Going for a drive to East End to the fish fry shop and visiting Herman is very different than trying to get to West Bay. It's not the same path, none at all. So when you are specific, there's a couple things that help you with this. Number one, you should write your goals down. But when you know exactly what it is that you're trying to achieve in a very specific way, it focuses your energy, and allows you to know exactly what it is that you're going for. stating your goals as a positive statement is also really important. Being precise, putting in dates, times, amounts. Oh, I want to start saving money. That's a 2022 goal. Come again. I want to start saving $500 a month in my CNB do not touch account starting on the 15th of each month. Now that's a different goal, right? Okay. What about the M for measurable? So remember, let's just go back here now. Yeah? Why is this goal, and this one it says meaningful. Most of them it's actually how you're going to measure it. But once you know how you're going to measure your goal, you will know whether or not you're on target. So what are we talking about when we say measurable? Well, this is a lot of times when you see people do things like they put together a chart of these are it's like a goalpost, right? If I get to $250 towards my $500, so maybe I can't do $500 all in one go. So maybe I break it down and every week I put aside a $75 to eventually get to my $500, right? How are you going to measure it? We measure things every single day and don't even know that we're measuring. You build a house. You don't just throw up a house. That's why when the bank gives you money, they don't give you the full money at one time because they want to measure your progress. Milestones. You get to the foundation. You complete the plumbing. You complete the electrical. You get up to the belting. The roof is on. You know, this is how you measure. So you need to figure out for your goal, how am I going to measure the success of each step of my goal? I want to lose 50 pounds. I don't just jump up and lose 50 pounds in one go. Is this a 6-month plan, a 1-year plan, a 1 week? You do it by the quarter and then you break it down from there. Every single day, for those of you who have weight loss goals, you know that what it comes down to. You know that you need to be watching what you put in your mouth. So every meal is a miniature opportunity for you to get that much closer to actually achieving your goal. So every single meal, next thing you know, in the first month, I've lost 2.5 pounds. I've lost 5 pounds. I'm going to measure it by the scale. I'm going to measure it by how my clothes are fitting. If I'm dropping, down in the waistline. Sometimes certain things you can measure by how they look. I'm looking different in the mirror because sometimes the scale might still be saying this is what's going on, but you got less flab. You got more of a shape. The waistline is coming in a little bit. You're losing inches, not necessarily all the pounds that you want. So you have to determine for that specific goal how you're going to measure it, and you need to be able to keep track of that. The achievable one is one that trips up a lot of people, Jared. Now, we grow up, folks, believing that you can achieve anything. And hell yeah, I'm all for that. But within reason. So when your parents tell you, Jared, you can be anything in the world that you want to be, you know that's not true, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So this is like the achievable has a certain degree of realism built in there. So if I jump up today and say, oh, I want to be a surgeon next week, I gotta be killing people. I can't be a surgeon next week. Now, it doesn't mean that I couldn't have been a surgeon in life, but it requires certain things. So there's a degree of realism. So when your parents say to you, oh, you can be anything you want, this is achievable, that's great to motivate you, but it takes more than that. And for me, honestly, both achievable and realistic, which is the R, really, really go hand in hand with each other. Because it might be attainable and it's not impossible, but you've got to do all the other things to be able to get there. So telling your kids that, you know, they can be great lawyers, they can do that. Yes, 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 yes. But the realism element is, how are you going to get there? What is your life purpose? What is your purpose, and how are you going to get to law school? And these are the things that you need to do.
What's the plan?
So even from
steps,
middle school, from high school, right? You're trying to figure out in life what it is you want to do. You're telling your kids, okay, this is what you want. Da, da, da. Perfect. But how are you going to get there? What are the resources that you're going to need? What capabilities are you going to need? Time, you know, is a big one. Sometimes money, because there's a lot of things you cannot do in this world, including getting a really good education without some degree of money. So you need to figure out a plan. Am I going to be able to get scholarships? You know, can I get a government scholarship? Can I get a private sector scholarship? Am I going to have to work and go to school?
Yeah. And I think that's the issue. The realistic issue of it is that sometimes people have ideas in terms of what they want to do, but they don't have the money, right? But then it's to pinpoint, okay, as a local, okay, get scholarship, okay, start saving up. Okay, I want to be a lawyer. You got to start saving up from now. Put aside a little money. You'd be surprised how things accumulate. But in addition to that, you know, it takes grit, it takes work ethic, and it takes not taking no for an answer. Like I would say, okay, for example, Miss Sandy, most people wouldn't know this, but I went to UCCI and I got the opportunity to work at Foster's, see how their thing works. Now most people wouldn't know this, but I actually kind of am a big fan of Foster's Food Fair, how they commercialize everything, and I was able to see how they work in HR, how accounting works, how information technology works, how inventory management works, so that when I start my own thing, I know, okay, you gotta know numbers, you gotta be good with technology, you gotta know how to talk to people and get the thing running. And so when I see it, and I'm taking it off the format of someone that I've seen done it before, but making it unique to my situation at the end of the day, and not taking no for answers, because just because someone tells you no, it doesn't mean you can't find somebody else that will help you to get what you need to get to. And the key important thing is,
you're going to have to keep at it.
Yeah, you have to work for other people, right? In that you learn what you need to learn from them. You take the little skills them. And you gotta be nice enough. I know we all don't like certain employers, but you take what you need to learn. And you got dip when you got dip, and do your own thing. So, you know, it was good.
It's so interesting that you mentioned Foster's, right? Because I'll be honest with you, I've actually never worked for a grocery store. I've worked in retail, and I think every retail business can be very unique and very different, and there are different elements to it. And having worked in retail as a university student, because that was the hustle that gave you a little bit of flexibility with your time, you know, being able to pay bills and whatever. I have a real appreciation that there are businesses who operate that on the face of it, it looks one way. But when you get a little glimpse of what happens behind the scenes and how things work, you have no clue, absolutely none, how those businesses work. And I think Foster's is an easy target to pick on. Like, why are they always hiring certain types of people, and they don't want to hire Caymanians and this and that. But I've seen Caymanians who go there and no, that's not for me. I can give you the answer.
I can give you the answer. I'm okay. Hopefully, Foster doesn't have an issue with me disclosing it, and you have to sign an NDA. So, what was being said is that the people who are coming through and applying, they are so qualified. Some of them got bachelors in nursing, meat cutter, security guard certification. So when they come, the HR said, "Wow, why wouldn't we take this person?" Because one, you don't have to do with cost, but you get in 3 birds with 1 stone. Secondly, Foster's has always articulated that they are always willing to hire locals if they're willing to work from the ground up. Truth be told, you don't become a CEO overnight. You gotta get a little scars on your back and a little experience to say you're a CEO. So I do understand, yes, there's nothing wrong to aspiring to be at the top, but you need to aspire to
You have to
go
start.
through the work ethic. You
Yeah.
got to go in the like for me. If you ask me if I was a CEO, I would start at the bottom. I don't want to see who cleaning the ground.
You have to
How
learn.
everybody doing. You have
Yeah.
to learn the little ropes them so that when you go up there
And to be
you
honest,
talk
I
to
mean,
the
I've
board.
seen, not to cut you, Jared, but I've seen Foster's hire people that I wouldn't hire, like ex-convicts and people in court, and I'm like, okay, they believe in second chances.
Yes, no,
What do people do?
100%.
Go steal $100 TV from the people. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you don't even. It's just crazy. You know.
Mr. Wood is very I wouldn't use that word that is coming to my mind, but he does believe in supporting the community, supporting locals. Yeah. Always supporting locals, and I can attest to that. Yeah. Based on the business in action program that I had to do. But it never is glamorous.
Being the person who orders the merchandise, stocking the shelves, like none of this stuff is. I mean, it's not
glamorous.
Glamour. You just work and you do it. You know, you're not going to be a cashier for the rest of your life necessarily, but sometimes it's a seasonal job. You know, it's for a season of life. You're doing it for
the skill of knowing how much do we have in the back order, how much do we have on the shelf, how many people come in, and how quickly is this product rotating. You would be surprised the data that you can take and say, okay, all right, I know Foster's always need flour. Let me start a little flour business and say, yo, Foster's, I have a flour company. I can sell it to you cheaper than having to import it. So, you know, it's those little key things. Always look at the little things, what people need.
And it's also a question of you know, one of the big things that I learned in retailing is the placement of things is really, really important. That's why when you go to high-end jewelry store, there's a certain way that they will even show you how to display merchandise, and you don't touch the jewelry in a certain ways. I mean, there's so many like little intricate details to it. Like we were responsible. I was in retail clothing, and then I did jewelry for a little bit, not high-end jewelry by any means, right? But, you know, there's certain expectations that they have of you, even how you dress a mannequin and the things that you do. And they had people from headquarters to secret shoppers, whatever, coming through and constantly, you know, critiquing your work. You couldn't be on the phone having a conversation. You couldn't have your friends coming to visit you just because you worked a mall job or, you know, there are standards. So Ms. Brenda says, Perla says not just Foster's, but all supermarkets do help you to grow. Jared is correct. Ms. Brenda says everybody's willing to hire Caymanians if they're willing to work slave wages. That's why a country keeps importing poverty. And I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that statement because
let me tell you something. There are Caymanians who could work for me for free, and I wouldn't take them on because it's not about that at all.
Yeah, right? It's about the work ethic. It's about being able to show up consistently, even when you got a headache, and you say, "Boy, I don't want to come to work," but you get up because the owner wants to see that you're committed. Because truth be told, that owner could sell that business to you, and you wouldn't even know it, right? People want to know that you're competent, but it's being able to show up in a hurricane, if we could use that example, and being able to get the job done. And don't say no excuses. If you say, boss, I was late. Take it and say I was late. But make sure you try not be late again, right? Because, you know, everything like what we're saying about this conversation, Miss Sandy, is image. How you put yourself forth is how people view you. It's the same way, you know, when you look at Apple, and Apple always has this prestigious look. It's the image. People always want to know how competent are you for showing up on the job? How well placed is your product? So it's an image thing. If you don't have a good image, by the mere fact that you don't show up, Bobo and TD, guess what? Change your image, adapt, change it, right? You know,
and I mean, not to put anybody down, but fair to Caymanians, right? I want to say this because listen, we import a lot of no good people without. There's no qualms about that. And I think what happens sometimes is people come here and they are focused for a limited amount of time. So if you're here on a 2-year contract and you're like, listen, I'm just here to work and make my coins, pack up and go back home. I don't have any family here. I don't have any real obligations, whatever. You can be that person that's going to work 12, 13, 14-hour days. Whereas the Caymanian does have family obligations. They may have church and after hour stuff that they have to do. So they're not necessarily as flexible in their time, and they may not be in the same place, you know, when it comes to, hold on one second, when it comes to where they are in their life. So if a Canadian comes here from Canada and you see them working mad hours and all they do is work and drink and that's it, well, they ain't got nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? They don't have any other family obligations here in the Cayman Islands. So I think that sometimes the dynamics of where you are in your life and what you're doing, like they can shack up in a house full of like other partiers, like 5-6 people, you know.
So they are there to have a good time. I can tell you, as somebody who is in Canada on the West Coast right now, I know been about nobody. I know been about Tom, Dick, Harry, Mary. So I've been about Jared, and Jared get what he needed good, get that little exposure, get a little experience, and keep it moving. So don't be concerned about what other people are doing. And to be honest, other people are just coming to Cayman to have a good time, drink, party, and take Snapchat and Instagram. So so that's true. The people
I think a lot of times the dynamics are different for Caymanians, and so that does impact some of the expectations. So listen, every nationality in the world has lazy people, some more than others. So if you go to any place in the world, you're gonna have people who don't want to work or are lazy. Even in the US, they're having a hard time getting people to go back to work because they've gotten used to the COVID unemployment benefits and unemployment check. And so they are happy to sit down and nope, I'm not going back to that restaurant job. I'm going to bust my ass busting tables for what? For them, it's a minimum wage. It's more, it might be more than our minimum wage, but it's still a minimum wage, and it's hard to pay bills on that. And you know, the sweat equity that they're going to be putting in for that, they're like, it's not worth it to me. So everybody has these problems. I think what it is when we have a very limited workforce here in the Cayman Islands, it does become that much more challenging to find people. And there's some industries, honestly, everybody wants a banking job. Everybody wants to work in finance. You know, they want to be able to put on a suit and tie, whatever. What we do here on CMR, there's no element of glamour to it, right? It's like grunge work, chasing a story, trying to get people for interviews, you know, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I love, speaking of Caymanians, and I want to highlight this, again, Kevin Watler, one of her own. Kevin reached out to me and said, Sandy, I see what you're doing. I love it. I love the energy. I think I can bring another element to it. I said, okay, Kevin, tell me what you're thinking, whatever. He brought his A game. You know, let's do a COVID series. And I said, okay. It's educational. He had contacts. He had initiative. You think that I had to sit down and chase Kevin's guests for him? No, he did that himself. He reached out to people. He was emailing people and all this sort of stuff. So I'm like, run with it, Kevin. I will give you the audience. I will give you the platform. You can use the CMR platform. I have no issues with that. If you need my help with anything, I'm here. Let me know. But he took the bull by the horns. He took the
he just did what needed to get the job done.
Exactly.
Just to touch on the little thing about the slave wages, I hope people understand this, right? Because it's an economic thing. If you're expecting your government to increase the minimum wage, is there going to be a commitment from 40,000 Caymanians to say, okay, we will continue to work hard and produce boom, 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 boom? Because if that will not be the case, it is going to be less of an incentive for the government to raise that when they know people that they're getting will work at that thing. So the strategy that the 40,000 Caymanians need to do, it go government building and say, yo, raise the money and we will do what needs to get done. But you see, until that togetherness approach is going to be there, there's going to be really little to no incentivization for that minimum wage to go up. And it's a numbers game. It's an economic thing. If the minimum wage goes up, gas will go up, food go up, water. So y'all got to bear that in mind too as well. So, you know, but it doesn't mean that employers can't be equitable.
And you know what? One of the things that we still don't know that I'm hoping that this census that they just completed will tell us is how many people are actually at minimum wage.
I wouldn't be surprised if a vast majority are, and it's just not being, it doesn't show. Cayman has a good way.
So what industries do you think are paying minimum wage? Domestic,
tourism, security.
But then they get tips. Security, definitely. I think most security workers.
Not everybody.
Some of them are like in the $10 range, from what I know. But
I don't want to call out certain security companies. National Security Service, that I don't know, but most companies do offer the minimum, which is $6, and then there is a plus benefits and whatever. Them something they can't work, man. You got push up the money a little bit so everybody can have a good time, right? Employers. So, from a business owner, I know it costs a lot, but if everybody gets a little extra money, everybody is good. The community is good, and people have a good time. So, it is important that we look at the key ingredients that make an economy successful. And I want to shout out all the other clothing companies out there in Cayman that are doing their thing and so forth.
Yeah. So Miss Brenda says that she doesn't agree with you either, that all Caymanians fit the criteria that you're painting. Well, we didn't say all at all. The situation in the island speaks for itself. We have been overrun and substituted by imported poverty. It's everywhere. The ones who don't fit the poverty bill most likely have fake and fraudulent degrees and resumes. Investigate that. Well, we have talked about that already. So some of that happens without a doubt. Caymanians should be able to work wherever they choose for a fair and equal wage. How can Caymanians survive on slave wages?
I guess that spiel that I made 2 to 3 minutes ago about if there isn't a commitment from 40,000 Caymanians to say that, okay, if the money goes up, we are willing to stay committed to doing and producing excellent work ethic. While it is good to say slave wage, Miss Archer, I hope you are prepared for the increasing cost in the gas, because that will go up. It's not just, you can't just say slave wage and think that, okay, it's going to solve the problem. You have to look at it economically for everybody in the social stratas, because you have the high end, you got the middle, and you got the lower. The people who are going to be feeling that more is the people at the lower and middle class. So what needs to happen is, the government looking at seeing how equitable employers can be with paying people, but the minimum bottom line is the minimum bottom line. That's the standard. So it can't go down any lower. But when you do increase it, you have to bear in mind, so will the cost, because the individual business owner is going to want to increase their profit margin straight across. So what I'm saying, Miss Brenda, is that what will happen is that the Caymanian will be adversely affected by it, by moving that wage up. I'm not saying it can't go up, but if we don't have this togetherness to say, okay, Caymanians, we know we work already, right? So if you see a friend slacking off, you say, yo, brother, get yourself together, right? Because that is the image. I'm telling y'all, image is key. So that is what needs to be worked on. And I'm not putting down nobody. I just seeing it as how it is, right? I know people are struggling. I know people apply to jobs and they don't get the job and it given to somebody else. But guess what? What somebody garbage is another person treasure. That job may not be for you. Try something else. Only don't have to always work for government. Only could start on their own business, right?
Yes, and this is what Gabby says here. She says that they need to start encouraging entrepreneurship, start teaching small business planning from high school. Yes. And I absolutely agree with that, Gabby, because the truth of the matter is, a couple things. Not everybody's meant to be a business owner or an entrepreneur, and not everybody is meant to be an employee, a doctor, lawyer, somebody else. But you have to know, and the only way, Gabby, that sometimes you can figure out where you fit in that equation is to actually have the opportunity to try it out. So
try and fail. People are scared to fail. I'm like, listen, if you fail, that's how you know it not work.
I have always been a hustler in terms of being an entrepreneur. And as I look back on my life, it's kind of funny, like some of the things that I've done that have always indicated to me, like, you've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, right? In the 7th grade, I was selling chocolates. Like I would buy the big box of chocolates and then I would sell the individual ones to my classmates.
Yes.
$1 a pop. And if I bought the big box for like $10 or $15, I could triple or quadruple my money. And they were happy to have it because the convenience of me bringing it to school and being able to sell it, one was convenient for them. So I had my little candy shop business going. By the time I hit high school, and I started to like, okay, so I like to do a little baking here and there. When I got into university, I was always doing something to kind of supplement and earn some money. When I came back to Cayman, some of you might know my dad, Uric Solomon, had Top Taste restaurant. Now, I wasn't no big time chef to be able to go in there and be like, oh yeah, whatever. But I walked in there one day and I said, Dad, why you don't have no desserts? And he was like, what do you mean? We got her, Miss, forget what her name is now, was in the kitchen cooking the oxtail and this and that. And I said, but everybody need a little bit of dessert with their meal.
Yeah, they want something they can eat on.
You understand? And he'd be like, I don't know about that. And I'd be like, okay, this is how we gonna make this work. I'll make the brownies and cakes. And my brownies and cakes used to sell off up in there to the point where it was just like a fun thing to do. But he'd be like, oh yeah, people ask me if you can make any more brownies. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, like for me, I knew I would.
I saw a need.
I knew I was supposed to go into business, Miss Sandy. When the Bibles them, what my grandpa gave me, I went go sell them to the community. And so when I go tell my mom, I say, oh, I sell Bibles. She said, you're not supposed to do that in a jar. So I said, okay, all right, fine. But throughout my whole years growing up, I'd always want to be selling things. I always want to fix something. I always want to improve a process. So I did try selling candy at John Gray, but that's illegal. Shout out to John Gray High School. But I know it more or less probably still goes on. But yeah, convenience. What is the one thing you can find that can make it easy for someone? Because people don't like to do the nitty-gritty work. People just want to have it boom, ready made.
And listen, it isn't easy to do certain things because you're responsible for marketing. You're responsible sometimes, depending on what it is, for cooking and baking and the product. I mean, in that case, it was kind of easy because I had a captured audience. It was in a restaurant. But I approached my own dad and be like, okay, I don't see no desserts here. I like desserts. Other people probably want a little piece of cake and stuff, but and the idea never even occurred to him.
Yeah,
because whatever, so
he might have been busy.
Sorry.
Sometimes when you're a business owner, you're so focused on getting that one key thing that what somebody sees from the outside, they're like, try this, and I think that's what you did.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, and retail has always been because I've had a retail license forever, and I'd be like, oh, remember back in the day when you had the big phones and stuff, some of the big Nokia phones. I was like bringing those when I first came out. I saw the price at which people were trying to sell stuff here for. I'm like, no man, you can bring in stuff, be reasonable, and still make a profit.
Yes.
So I brought in a whole shipment of those. I mean, I've always been like, I'll never forget when I started Roque, which is the streaming stuff, right?
Yes.
I actually was in government building speaking to someone, and I got call his name, but one of these Caymanians with a certain last name. And he actually said to me, I was telling him about it, handing him my flyer, because again, I'm hustling. Everywhere I go, I had a flyer in my bag, and I'm handing somebody a flyer. Have you heard about this? And he's like, well, I've never heard about this before. And you know what he said to me? How did you come up with this idea? But it was the way that he said it and the emphasis on
it's like you were looking down.
As though I couldn't come up with an idea. And I just looked at him and I said, well, why wouldn't I be able to come up with this idea? You know what I'm saying? Well, what are you trying to say?
Yeah.
Well, I've never heard this before. Well, could it be that I know something you don't know? That, someone, just because they're Black, Caymanian, female, might still be kind of smartish and know stuff and be able to hustle. It was totally the way that he said it.
It was demeaning.
It was like, it's like, oh, you're not supposed to do this. This is the kind of stuff that is reserved for certain people, certain working class individuals. And I think, again, that's where the technology has made such a big difference, right? There are things, folks, if you're interested in being a business owner, that are available to you. Resources. There are people out there selling courses that you can pay for online, and you can up the ante. You can develop new products. You can do, if tech is your thing, reaching the masses. I mean, there's so much that you can do now that in years gone by wasn't possible. That's why the playing field, in my opinion, has been extremely leveled in a way that it wasn't before. And yes, depending on the industry, there are still some industries that it takes money to get into.
Because you have programs that Mr. Miles is doing, which I think is Inspire Cayman. You have courses at UCCI, technical courses. You have the resources there. You have scholarships that are available. So really and truly, at the end of the day,
the small business center that government has. How many of you who are interested have ever utilized any of their resources? Now, first of all, I think they need to do a better job of letting you guys know what is available, right?
Yeah,
let me say, while we're on this job of Caymanians wanting employment and all this sort of stuff, right? There are courses. Let me put this out there. There is a front of house course that is being offered in conjunction with the Department of Tourism and some of their partners. And they are begging Caymanians.
Work is offering courses
to come on board and do these courses. We're saying, we don't have Caymanians in tourism, blah, blah, blah. They are willing to train you, give you courses that you can take at no cost to you. You just have to show up and do the courses. And do you guys know how difficult it is?
Yeah.
For them to get Caymanians in those courses? I mean, it's amazing that you could be offering something for free.
And nobody show up.
People are not willing to take up the opportunity.
I would say one of my big things to my success, Miss Sandy, is accepting free things. Like when I was in Cayman and cadets would offer a program, like let's say scuba diving, and it's free. That scuba diving certification for me, boy, if it's something that John Gray were doing for free, I would go to that course. Anything free, take the opportunity, because it's something that will add knowledge to something that you did not know the day before. It's not us trying to act like we big wigs and we the people who've been colonialized or whatever, we know the secret things. No, what we're saying is that show up, take the freeness, use the things that you got from that something and capitalize on it. Now everybody gotta be an entrepreneur, that's okay. But if you're always gonna be expecting somebody to give you coin when you can make your own coin, then that's a different conversation. If you're ready to have that.
It's a whole other ball game, and it's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? There are elements to it that you do not expect, and the unsure level of being an entrepreneur, like you can't always say, okay, every month this is my paycheck, and I better be getting this paycheck. I can depend on this. I'm gonna go home with this. As a business owner, you're the last one to be getting a paycheck. So
exactly,
there's the reality of it that you have other bills and obligations that need to be paid.
To be met,
before you. And that also most businesses are not going to realize a profit for years to come. So there's lots of intricate things when it comes to being a business owner that will become a reality check for you if you've never been down that path. But again, there's so many resources, I think, that are available to people. So Sharon says, it warms my heart to see young people speak this way, honestly. Perla says that's true. The flexibility of Caymanians is not there. They're unreliable. I don't want us to make generalizations, because Caymanians, in my opinion, have been some of the hardest working people in the world.
Well,
but it doesn't take a whole lot of people at our population size to spoil the whole basket. So those couple rotten apples really spoil the whole basket. I think we read this comment already. We read Gabby's comment. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind here. So Perla says, I would not say that about flexibility. It all depends on the work environment. Yeah, I mean, it really does depend. Some office environments, it just depends on where you're at and what you're doing. Perla says, just like how we did it back in high school for summer, we did off jobs for job experience. And after that, we did a summary of the experience we had on the job, the likes and dislikes. Miss Brenda said, if you understand economics, you'll know that argument is mute. Well, we're going to bring a man who not only understands economics, but he is the professor of economics at Yale University. You guys remember Mr. Musfa? I think Mubarak. I got the last name right for sure. He will be coming back on the program as a regular feature because this man is an economic expert. I'm no economic expert, so I'm not going to tell y'all that I understand anything about economics. What I do is I rely on people like him, who's a professor of economics at Yale University. And, you know, I loved when he was in the program. I don't know how many of you guys caught that, but how he really broke things down so that anybody could walk away with an understanding of some of the key principles that he was trying to explain and how they have an impact, like in a real way as well, right? So Marshall says America has some of the laziest people in the world. No one applying for jobs. Darlene says it starts at the managerial level. Higher ups, poor work ethics, punch in all day, show up on the work site 30 minutes or less before their time, clock out for the 8 hours a day. They do the same for overtime, starting with our government departments. Listen, laziness is not relevant to like just a specific industry. It can be any industry. It can be any company, any person. I mean, these things are all true, right? We need to learn and ignore these people and do the same. The foreign. Well, one thing I must say is that what I find a lot of times is foreign workers tend to be very good with helping each other. So they will there's a new opening in my company. And maybe that is one thing that Caymanians are lacking.
Can I say something 1 minute, Miss Sandy? To Miss Archer, based on the qualifications that I have, which when I was taught manager economics and the rest, and I know what I'm talking about. It's fact. There are apprenticeship programs. I believe she is misguided and she is not. I don't want to go anywhere than that. I think you're misguided. I'm speaking from somebody who is local grown and who know what I'm doing. So, and I think what we're trying to say is that Caymanians want to feel valid. And I think because employers have not been equitable on valuing Caymanians and because the environment within Cayman doesn't show that Caymanians are being valued, I think this is what is coming up. And it is right. For those employers in Cayman who aren't valuing Caymanians, that is not okay. That is not okay, especially if they have the qualifications, especially if they're showing up, and especially if employers, just how you give people who come to Cayman a chance, you need, and I know Minister Brian said about chances, but that was a thing. You need to give Caymanians a chance. If a Caymanian come and ask you for help, give them a chance. If there's a young Caymanian coming from UK, Canada, USA, give them a chance. If there's somebody that you realize that they can't afford the shoes, buy them a pair of shoes and give them a chance. That is just the bottom line. And I think I kind of get what Miss Archer is saying. Caymanians need a chance. However, when we get the chance, we must be the leading actor and leading actress in the role, so that when you're done, the people them say, no, you can't go nowhere. We need you. You have to become so invaluable, right? So employers give Caymanians, private, government, and I'm talking to government too, because I know they want a way when they're ready, give Caymanians a chance. We need the chance and we'll be better for it.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll be sharing more of this front of house training with you guys because every single Caymanian, I don't know if Gabby, she says, sorry, where is that? I missed it. I don't know if you're speaking to the front of house training, but we'll be sharing some details. I'll see if I can get the flyer by tomorrow and put that up. But yeah, this is some of the information that really needs to be put out there in terms of the apprenticeship programs. CUC does an apprenticeship program.
Yes,
there are companies that have internal
UCCI,
training programs. I think even Foster's does.
Sci-Fact got training programs. So I don't know what
Foster's does an internal apprenticeship style program.
Yes, the Business in Action, Business 270 with UCCI, which I was a part of. Yes, they do it. So anybody who telling me about they got internship, you just don't know where to find them, and that is something government needs to fix. Because they should have a website where they say, okay, as a matter of fact, government, if you could do that, that would really help. Because the way how everything always be separated with the different departments and ministries. So the same way we have jobs in one area, we need to have apprenticeships. So you have business experience one, which is run by UCCF for dual enrollment students. You have the business in action. You have SciFec. You got John Gray. We need to have a list where we have all those things so young people can find them, and it's not all this misguided, convoluted all over. And if private sector could have one too, that would be really, see, somebody can make money off of that. Creating a website, government can put all the information on for certain internships and whatever. Boom, that's a business idea right there. Not trying to, show on anybody. I'm just saying it would be helpful because there's a problem clearly with it. But thank you so much, Miss Sandy.
Once you've experienced some of the status quo, you'll be seeing something very different. Trust me.
Okay.
Listen to me, folks. I have experienced it, and like I've always said, that's why I work for myself. I don't work for myself because this is an easier journey or an easier path to success. I work for myself because there's certain things, quite frankly, I'm not willing to put up with. And
I'll be dead honest.
So Pat says Cayman needs back their TV station. Even that was owned by Caymanian in the final leg of ownership. He hadn't paid his government fee for a couple of years, and he said he didn't think that he should have to pay the government fee.
And that's not okay. That's not okay. You listen. For Miss Archer, I would say about the status quo for us young people, young locals who had to go overseas to get our qualifications when we would rather do it at home. We know the status quo. So because if you ask me honestly, Jared, why are you overseas? It's because I know there's an overinflated job market in Cayman. I know there's a higher chance of competition in Cayman, but you know something? I am overseas and I say, you know what? I go and do something for locals overseas and make sure they get access to it. So I'm not taking this attitude about, oh, this is bad and woe is me. I'm like, I'm going to show you all how it's done. I'm going to build my table and I'm going to make sure people back home have access to it. So you see the thing? It's how you view the situation. It's either you could sit on your hands and say, well, this bad. Or you could say, yo, guess what? I'm the best thing since sliced bread. And this how we going to do it. So I know there's a status quo and that status quo has to change. And the government up to date needs to work on that status quo. But you can't always expect the government to fix everything. You can't always depend on the government because government can't do everything. You got to help government sometimes and say, yo, I have an idea. This is what I want to do. Boom, right? So collectively as a group of people, Caymanians, wherever we are, right? We have to work together. And looking at nitpicking certain things that don't work doesn't help. All the nitpicking that you're doing, find a solution to the thing and make action on it, Miss Archer. Because personally, not taking it personally, woe is me attitude is not going to work. It's not.
All right, so Ms. Brenda was asking about Heroes Day Awards. Honestly, as far as I know, it's going forward. I don't have any indication that it's not. The government has not said. I think last year they did it differently. And I can certainly reach out to the person who organizes that event just for confirmation. But I have no indication that it's not happening. So in light of that, I would just say, I guess it's going forward. And we'll probably receive some details on how, because I think what they did last year to accommodate the existing restrictions in place because of COVID, they did it in smaller segments. So maybe that's what they're planning on doing again this year. So Perla, thank you so much. Yeah, you know what? We have to do our part. Yes, the system is not perfect. It's not, sometimes it's just not even good in favor of Caymanians. But I think that we all need to, I agree with Miss Brenda, speak up, let your voice be heard. Everybody has a voice and everybody should definitely be contributing. And we need to be focused, as Jared also saying, on finding the solutions. We pretty well know what the problems are. Now we need to find the solutions. So the other day, there was a collaborative effort between private sector and Department of Tourism, Ministry of Tourism, CETA. They had the job fair. We're going to be following up with them to see what sort of numbers, but there were Caymanians, people hired on the spot. That's the kind of success stories that we want to be hearing about. And we do want to hear that these efforts are genuine efforts. So Perla says, let's take Kevin and Jared for a good example to go ahead in our daily lives. Absolutely. I mean, listen, Jared comes on this program all the time of his free volition. I don't message Jared and be like, Jared, pop on with me this morning. He just jumps in and I see him in the back room. I'm like, oh, Jared's here. Good. I'll pull him up. It's that kind of initiative, even to be willing to be in the forefront and willing to discuss topical things, give your opinion, all those things. They're really, really important. And I think, at the end of the day, Jared is learning. He's being impactful. He's impacting other people. Yeah, Miss Brenda, definitely. It has been 20 days, but probably 10 of those are over the holidays. So we're going to give them time this week to get back into the office, get back from holidays and that sort of thing. But, Jared, you and I need to talk about you doing some stuff on this platform as well, because I think there's room for a young man like you to continue to have a voice and to kind of push out there. Nothing comes easy in life. I mean, Aunt Lottie's pearls of wisdom, nothing comes easy. You've got to hustle, you've got to work. And even sometimes with all of that, you still don't have the success that you want or that you imagine. And you just have to keep at it and keep at it and keep at it.
Keep moving forward.
Yeah. And that for me, I think is what 2022 is going to be about. If anyone listened to the program this morning and you're a Caymanian and you have a Caymanian voice and you are willing to be part of our news segment and you want to be the one presenting and doing the news every single evening here in CMR, reach out. It's as simple as that.
And you don't got to be perfect, but I know Miss Sandy probably want you all to be perfect. But the way how you learn.
But I'm not going to lie to you. You need to have initiative. And this, unfortunately, isn't the platform for a whole lot of hand-holding. Because I, as a one-woman, management team.
Jack of all trades.
I just don't have that luxury, right? Yeah. I don't have that luxury. To me, that is a little bit of a luxury. But when you understand the world of media, you also know that in this day and age, you have to be prepared to jump in and you sink or swim.
100%.
And, it is what it is. But jump in. Contact me if you want to read the news. Miss Brenda, nothing wrong with you reading the news for me, girl. Oh, Miss Brenda, we put a little bit of lipstick on you. You have natural, youthful beauty. Now you got to write your own script and stuff like that, but I'm sure you're capable of doing that. Hey, why not? Mm-hmm. And I'm not opposed to having, different people do it and stuff as well. It doesn't always have to be Misha. What I know is we want to get this done, and I don't have the time to do it, despite having the desire. I think at one point I did like one segment or two where I was doing a little bit of reading, but I don't really have the time. Honest to God, I wish I did, but I don't. And so anybody else who wants to step forward, please do so. We just got the weather forecast for today, so let me read this. I know we're a little bit into overtime, so we're going to wrap up here. So today,
thank you so much for having me, Miss Sandy.
Sorry, Jared?
I'll step out. Okay. Thank you so much for having me. Awesome chance. Anybody who wants to get a little media training, here's the opportunity. Free experience. You're not getting free experiences, good experience. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good one, Jared. So we just got the little update for the day in terms of weather. Partly cloudy skies today with a 20% chance of showers. Looks pretty good out there. Temperatures are going to rise to the mid 80s. So those of you in cold, freezing weather, I'm not trying to rub it in, but mid 80s. Winds are going to be northeast 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight, dropping down to the mid 70s, and the winds kick up. Well, not really, but they're 5 to 10 knots, and the seas again will be moderate. Low tide. What are we at today? is at 5:37 p.m. High tide is going to happen in an hour and a bit at 11:17 a.m. and then high again at 11:02 p.m. So we have, that's interesting. So you can have more than one high tide for the day. Sunset is at 6 p.m. today. Sunrise tomorrow morning is going to be at 7:01. Why does the sun rise a little bit later? Tidal stuff, I'm sure. All right, folks. That's all I've got for you. Lots of news happening. I see something here I need to forward to Renee that she needs to work on. So schools are back in session in the Cayman Islands. Please be careful on the roadway. Watch out for kids. In Jamaica, they also have public schools back for face-to-face classes. And they're doing a whole campaign around that because, again, they're trying to learn how to navigate what they say is the endemic phase of the pandemic. Well, it ain't endemic yet. Y'all been trying to get vaccinated in Jamaica. So Prince Andrew continues to sweat. Apparently, in his case, a 2009 settlement with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has come forward. I was watching this last night. Very, very interesting. So the accuser, Prince Andrew, she signed an agreement, and this is what his lawyers are trying to say. They're trying to get him off on a technicality. And they're trying to say, wait a minute, she signed a 2009 deal with Jeffrey Epstein, where she was paid off, and that was to end her claim. And in that deal, she agreed to exclude any of his connections. Like, it's a very wide remit. So they're saying that that would now protect Prince Andrew from this lawsuit. I don't think it's going to wash, because from a legal perspective, what I've heard the legal experts say is that, in fact, it is very, very broad. And it is so incredibly broad that it is unlikely to be enforceable. He says he has no recollection of ever meeting this young lady, of ever being in her company. And there's the woman in the background who was pulling that's the puppet master, who was pulling all the strings, et cetera, et cetera. And so his lawyers are trying through technicalities to not have him, or to have him excluded from potentially being sued by her. Not so sure how that's going to work. You might want to try something else. But anyway, we will certainly keep you guys updated. He has been in the spotlight since the conviction of, what's her name? Ghislaine, what's her last name again? Maxwell, last week. So, what a hot mess. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, folks, please stay tuned. We've got lots of exciting things in the works for 2021. So our news brief is but one of those. Again, any Caymanian, let me put the call out there loud and clear, who's interested in coming on board with CMR, rest assured that, we're happy to speak with you and see what can be done. Just message me. We can talk. But, it is what it is. Marshall says he should be sweating. We'll keep an eye on that situation. Folks, thank you so much again for tuning in. Thank you all for those of you who voted. We've got a logo that we're going to be going with, so that's fantastic. And I look forward to a very prosperous and productive 2022. We're going to be, by the way, partnering with Caribbean folks who will be using our platform for their show, the Caribbean Show. And I'm excited about that as well, about that venture. So I'm going to play that video now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.
Season's greetings from the beautiful Virgin Islands. I am Shayna Smith-Archer, a co-host of the Territories Talk Show, wishing everyone a happy and safe holiday season. I'm looking forward to more conversations with you as we inform and unite our sisters and brothers across the overseas territories in 2022.
Season's greetings from the beautiful Cayman Islands. I'm Eden Hurlston, co-host of Territories Talk, wishing everyone across the Caribbean and across the whole world a very Merry Christmas and a prosperous, healthy, happy, peaceful New Year.
Season's greetings. This is Chris Famous of Bermuda, one of your co-hosts of Territories Talk. We wish to let you know in 2022, we will be continuing the conversation on women in leadership, immigration, self-determination, and the cost of living in the overseas territories. So we look forward to continuing to informing and uniting the overseas territories.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Cold Hard Truth. Make sure to check Facebook for showtimes and more information and the latest news at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Subscribe to our IG and Facebook pages to get the latest happenings.